All right, and welcome back. In this video, we are going to be going through section 6.2 titled Rational Exponents. So if you don't already have them out, let's have out your guided notes. Let's begin. So to simplify a number that's raised to the power of 1 over n, where n is just a number, we're going to write the nth root of that number. And here's what I mean by an example. If we want to simplify 216 raised to the 1 over 3 power, we're going to then change it into finding the third root of 216. So the number in our denominator becomes the nth root of what we are taking of that number. So we would take the third root of 216, which becomes 6. And when we do this, we can think what number, when taken as a factor 3 times, aka if I multiply a number by itself 3 times, gives us 216. Well, 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. So the third root of 216 is equal to 6. In a second example now, when we have an expression and it contains 2 or more expressions with the fractional exponent, we're going to evaluate the expressions with the exponents first, and then we're going to add or subtract. So we want to simplify 81 to the 1 over 2 power, or the 1/2 root, and we're going to add that with 32 to the power of 1 over 5. So we're going to evaluate each one individually first. So 81 raised to the 1 over 2 power is going to be the same thing as the square root of 81. And then 32 raised to the 1 over 5th power is going to be the same thing as the 5th root of 32. We can calculate that out, and the square root of 81 is 9. The 5th root of 32 is 2, since 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 gives us 32. And then we can add them together and we get 11. So with this in mind, please work on problems 1 through 12 on the guided notes and resume when you are ready to move on. So a fractional exponent may have a numerator that's not going to be 1. It's going to be other than 1. So to simplify a number that's raised to the power of m over n, we're going to write the nth root of a number raised to the mth power. So we're going to be doing the same thing as we have been doing when we had a numerator of 1, but now we're just going to have to go a little bit further. So let's say we have to simplify 125 raised to the power of 4 over 3. What that's going to turn into is the third root, or the cube root, of 125. We're going to evaluate that, and then we're going to take it to the power of 4. So the number in our denominator, again, becomes that numbered root, and then the number in our numerator of that fractional exponent becomes the power that we bring our result to. So since 4 is in our numerator and 3 is now our denominator, we find the third root of 125. That's going to give us 5. And then we're going to raise it to a power of 4, which gives us 625. So to find the third root, or we call it the cube root of 125, we want to think what number, when taken as a factor 3 times, equals 125. It's got to be 5, because 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So therefore, the cube root of 125 is 5. And lastly, if we want to simplify 64 raised to the 5 over 6th power, or the power of 5 over 6, we're going to take the number in our denominator, which is 6, and we're going to place that in our root. We're going to find the root of 64. Then once we find that value, we're going to raise it to a power of 5. So the 6th root of 64 becomes 2. And then 2 raised to the power of 5 becomes 32. And again, to find the 6th root of 64, we have to think what number, when taken as a factor 6 times, equals 64. Well, it's 2, because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 64. So the 6th root of 64 gives us 2. And then again, since 5 was in our numerator, we take that 2 and we raise it to the power of 5. With this in mind, please work on problems 13 through 24 on the guided notes. Keep up the great work. Keep making yourself proud. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you soon.